Have you ever felt stuck? You know what you need to do, but for some reason you just don't do it. You keep thinking about it, planning it, waiting for the right moment, but the right moment never comes. Days pass, weeks pass, and nothing changes. And deep down, you know that if you don't take action, your life will stay the same. No progress, no growth, just the same old routine. That's why you have to force yourself to take action. Not wait until you feel like it. Not hope for motivation to suddenly appear. You have to make yourself move, even when you don't want to. Because here's the truth. Action creates results. If you don't take action, nothing happens. No success, no improvement, no change, and the longer you wait, the harder it gets. The longer you stay in the same place, the more comfortable it feels, and the more you convince yourself that maybe it's not the right time. But let me tell you something. There is no perfect time. There is only right now. And right now you have a choice. You can keep waiting, or you can start moving. This video is about breaking that cycle. It's about learning how to stop overthinking and start doing. How to push past doubt, fear, and hesitation. How to build self-discipline, create real progress, and finally get things done. If you're tired of feeling stuck, if you're ready to change, then stay with me. Because by the end of this, you'll have the tools you need to stop waiting and start taking action right now. Number 1, stop overthinking and just do it most. People don't move forward in life because they think too much. They sit around waiting for the right time, the perfect plan, or the best opportunity. They tell themselves, I'll start tomorrow. But tomorrow turns into next week, next month, next year. And guess what? Nothing changes. You know what stops people? Overthinking. They keep analyzing, worrying, and doubting themselves. They ask, what if I fail? What if I'm not good enough? What if people judge me? And while they're busy thinking, life moves on. Opportunities pass them by. Others step up and take action, while they're still sitting on the sideline. But here's the truth. Thinking doesn't change anything. Only action does. You can plan all you want, read all the books, and prepare for every situation. But if you never take action, you'll stay in the same place. Success doesn't come from waiting. It comes from doing. A lot of people say, I'll start when I feel ready. But let me tell you something. If you wait to feel ready, you'll never start. Because that feeling may never come. Some days you won't feel motivated. Some days you'll be tired. Some days you won't feel like doing anything at all. But if you let your feelings control you, you'll never move forward. The secret is simple. You have to act even when you don't feel like it. You have to train yourself to move, no matter what. Because action leads to progress, and progress builds confidence. Once you start, you gain momentum. And once you have momentum, things get easier. Think about this. How many times have you hesitated before doing something? Maybe you wanted to start exercising, but instead you sat there thinking about it. Maybe you wanted to start a new habit, but you kept saying, I'll do it later. And what happened? Nothing. But now think about the times you just acted without thinking too much. Maybe you got up and started working without waiting to feel motivated. Maybe you made a phone call without overanalyzing it. And what happened? You got things done. You moved forward. That's the difference. Action creates results. Thinking too much creates delays. If you want to get anywhere in life, you have to stop hesitating. You have to stop waiting for the right moment. Because the right moment is right now. So how do you break the habit of overthinking? Simple. Just start. Don't wait until you're in the mood. Don't wait until everything is perfect. Just take the first step. If you want to exercise, don't sit there debating it. Stand up and start moving. If you have work to do, don't stare at the clock. Just begin. If you need to make a decision, stop going back and forth. Just decide. Here's a little trick. Count down from 5. The moment you catch yourself hesitating, say 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then move. Don't give yourself time to talk yourself out of it. Because the longer you wait, the harder it gets. And don't worry about making mistakes. Some people don't take action because they're afraid of failing. But let me tell you something. Failure is not the enemy. Failure is part of the process. Every successful person has failed. Every winner has lost at some point. The difference is, they kept going. They didn't let fear stop them. If you want to succeed, you have to be okay with making mistakes. You have to be okay with not knowing everything. You just have to start and figure things out along the way. Think about it like this. When you drive a car at night, your headlights only show a few feet ahead. But as you keep moving, the road appears. Life works the same way. You don't need to see the whole path. You just need to start moving, and the way forward will reveal itself. And here's another thing. Action builds confidence. Most people think they need confidence before they act, but it's the other way around. You don't feel confident first, you act first, and confidence comes later. The more you do something, the better you get. The better you get, the more confident you become. So if you want to stop overthinking, if you want to start making progress, if you want to change your life, here's what you do. Stop waiting. Stop thinking so much. Stop letting fear control you. Just take action, right now. Because in a year you'll either look back and see progress, or you'll look back and see regret. And the only difference between the two is whether you started today. Number 2, make a clear daily action plan. If you don't plan your day will plan you. And usually, that means distractions, wasted time, and no real results. Success doesn't happen by accident. It happens because of clear, deliberate action. If you don't know what you need to do, how will you ever get it done? If you don't set priorities, how will you ever focus on what truly matters? The answer is simple. You won't. That's why having a daily action plan is so important. A real plan. Not just a vague idea of what you should do. A clear list of what must get done today. When you have a plan, you wake up with purpose. You don't waste time deciding what to do next. You already know. You don't let distractions take over because you have a clear focus. And at the end of the day, you can look back and say, I made progress. That's how you build success. One plan day at a time. The first step is to decide what truly matters. Most people are busy, but being busy doesn't mean being productive. Some people spend the whole day running around answering emails, doing small tasks, but they never make progress on their real goals. They confuse activity with achievement. The goal isn't to just do things. The goal is to do the right things. So before anything else, ask yourself, what really moves me forward? What tasks will actually make a difference? If you're trying to build a business, maybe it's making sales calls or improving your product. If you're working on your health, maybe it's exercising and eating right. If you're trying to grow personally, maybe it's reading, learning, or practicing a skill. Whatever it is, identify it. Because if you don't know what's important, you'll waste time on things that don't matter. Once you know what's important, write it down. Every single day before the day starts, create your action plan. Don't keep it in your head, put it on paper or type it into your phone. There's power in writing things down. When you see your tasks in front of you, they become real. They're no longer just ideas floating in your mind. They're clear, concrete steps you need to take. Keep it simple. Don't overload your list with 20 things. That's a recipe for stress and failure. Focus on the top 3 to 5 things that will make the biggest impact. If you get those done, you'll have had a productive day. And be specific. Don't just write, work on my business. That's too vague. Instead, write, call 5 potential clients, or finish the first chapter of my book. When your tasks are clear, it's easier to take action. Now here's the secret. Schedule your tasks. It's not enough to just write a list. You have to assign a time for each task. If you don't set a time, you'll end up saying, I'll do it later, and later often turns into never. So block out time for each task. If it's important, treat it like an appointment that can't be missed. Eliminate distractions. The biggest enemy of a daily plan is distraction. Social media, unnecessary phone calls, random internet browsing. These things steal time. If you're not careful, you'll find yourself spending hours on things that don't move you forward. Set boundaries. Put your phone on silent. Work in a quiet space. Protect your time. Because every distraction is a delay in your success. Another key is to start strong. How you begin your day sets the tone for everything else. If you start slow, wasting time, you'll likely continue that way. But if you start with focus and purpose, you build momentum. That's why it's smart to tackle the most important task first. It's called winning the morning. When you start your day by accomplishing something significant, you feel motivated to keep going. It builds confidence. And don't forget to review your plan throughout the day. Plans are useless if they're ignored. Keep checking your list. Make sure you're staying on track. If something urgent comes up, adjust. But don't let small distractions pull you away from what really matters. At the end of the day, take a moment to reflect. Did you complete your key tasks? Did you stay focused? what worked well, what needs improvement. This simple habit keeps you accountable. If you didn't follow through, ask yourself why. Learn from it. The goal is to keep improving, day by day. When you make a daily action plan and stick to it, something incredible happens. You start making progress. Instead of feeling lost or overwhelmed, you feel in control. Instead of wasting time, you use it wisely. Instead of ending the day with regrets, you end it with results. And here's the best part. When you stack up enough productive days, you create a successful life. Because success isn't built in a day, but it is built daily. If you control your days, you control your future. And it all starts with a simple habit: planning your day and taking action. Number 3, remind yourself why it's important. Most people start something with excitement. They feel motivated, ready to go, full of energy, but then after a while, that energy fades. They get tired. They face obstacles. They don't see results as fast as they expected. And what happens? They slow down. They start making excuses. They tell themselves, maybe I'll do it tomorrow. Or maybe this isn't for me. And before they know it, they've stopped completely. Why does this happen? Because they forget why they started in the first place. They lose sight of the reason behind their action. And when you forget why something is important, it's easy to quit. It's easy to get distracted. It's easy to let small problems stop you. But when you keep your reason in front of you, when you remind yourself every day why it matters, then you stay strong. You push through. You keep going even when it's tough. Think about anything great that has ever been achieved. Behind it, there was always a strong reason. People don't just wake up and succeed by accident. They have something driving them. They have something that keeps them moving when things get hard. And you need that too. You need to be clear about why you're doing what you're doing. Because if your reason is weak, your effort will be weak. If your reason is strong, nothing will stop you. So take a moment and ask yourself, why is this important to me? Not just on the surface, but deep down. Why do you really want to improve your life? Why do you want to take action? Maybe you want financial freedom so you can take care of your family. Maybe you want to be healthy so you can live longer and feel better. Maybe you want success so you can prove to yourself that you can do it. Whatever it is, make it clear. And don't just think about it once and forget it. Keep it in front of you every single day. Write it down. Put it somewhere you'll see it often. Say it out loud in the morning. The more you remind yourself, the stronger it becomes. Because when you see your reason in front of you, it keeps you focused. It stops you from making excuses. It reminds you that your goal is bigger than your comfort. There will be days when you don't feel like taking action. Days when you're tired. Days when you doubt yourself. And in those moments, your reason is what will push you through. If you only rely on motivation, you will fail. Motivation comes and goes. Some days you'll feel excited. Other days you won't. But when you have a strong reason, you don't wait to feel like it. You do it anyway. You take action even when it's hard. Look at people who succeed. They don't always feel motivated, but they have something deeper. They have a reason that keeps them moving. Think about a parent working 2 jobs to provide for their kids. Do they always feel like waking up early? Do they always feel like working long hours? No, but they do it because they know why it's important. Their love for their family is stronger than their tiredness. Or think about an athlete training every day. Do they always feel like waking up at 5 a.m. to practice? No, but they do it because their goal is bigger than their comfort. They know why they started, and they refuse to quit. You have to build that same mindset. Your reason has to be bigger than your excuses. Every time you feel like giving up, remind yourself why you started. Every time you feel distracted, remind yourself what's at stake. Because if you let small things stop you, you'll never reach where you want to go. And here's something important. Make your reason emotional. If it doesn't make you feel something, it's not strong enough. A real reason should make you excited, or even make you cry. It should make you feel like I have no choice but to do this. When your reason is strong, nothing can stop you. Some people say I want success, but they don't really mean it. They like the idea of success, but they're not willing to fight for it. And do you know why? Because they don't have a strong enough reason. If you really want something, you'll find a way. If it's not that important to you, you'll find excuses. So take time today and get clear on your reason. Write it down, make it strong, make it emotional, and then remind yourself of it every single day. Because when you have a powerful reason, no challenge, no obstacle, no distraction can stop you. You'll wake up with purpose. You'll take action even when you don't feel like it. And that's how you turn your dreams into reality. Number 4, stop seeking comfort, seek progress instead. Most people want to improve their lives, but they also want to stay comfortable. They want success, but they don't want struggle. They want to grow, but they don't want to be uncomfortable. And that's the problem. Comfort and progress don't go together. If you're always looking for what's easy, you will never get better. If you avoid discomfort, you will stay stuck where you are. Think about it. Every time you've improved in life, it wasn't because things were easy. It was because you challenged yourself. It was because you did something new, something uncomfortable. Growth happens outside of comfort. Every successful person knows this. The people who win in life are the ones who are willing to go through discomfort. They understand that pain, struggle, and difficulty are part of the process. They don't run from it. They embrace it. Look at someone who is physically strong. They didn't get there by sitting on the couch. They got there by pushing their body, by going through pain in the gym. It wasn't easy, but they did it because they knew it would make them better. The same goes for every area of life. If you want to grow, you have to stop choosing comfort. You have to start choosing progress. And here's the truth. Comfort feels good in the moment, but it steals your future. It keeps you in the same place, doing the same things, getting the same results. How many people do you know who always say, "I'll start tomorrow," but tomorrow never comes? Why? Because they're choosing comfort. They're waiting for the right time, but the right time never comes. If you keep waiting for everything to feel easy, you'll be waiting forever. The only way to change your life is to push through discomfort. It will feel hard at first, but that's how you know you're growing. When you feel like giving up, that's the moment to keep going. Because on the other side of that struggle is the progress you want. Think about learning a new skill. At first it's frustrating. You make mistakes. You feel slow. You feel like you'll never get it. But if you keep going, one day it starts to make sense. One day you realize you've improved. That's progress. And it only happens because you were willing to go through the discomfort. Most people quit before they reach that point. They try something for a few days, then stop because it's too hard. They say, "This isn't for me." But the truth is, they just weren't willing to go through the discomfort. They wanted results without effort. But that's not how life works. If you want to change, you have to get comfortable being uncomfortable. You have to wake up early even when you feel tired. You have to do the work even when you don't feel like it. You have to push past your doubts, your fears, your excuses. That's how you make progress. Think about the most successful people. They didn't have it easy. They weren't just lucky. They worked for it. They struggled. They failed. But they kept going. They understood that growth only happens when you challenge yourself. And this isn't just about work or success. This is about life. If you always seek comfort, you will never experience the fullness of life. You will miss out on opportunities, experiences, and growth. You will live small because you were afraid to step out of your comfort zone. But if you start choosing progress over comfort, everything changes. You build confidence. You develop discipline. You become stronger, mentally and physically. You stop making excuses and start finding solutions. You stop waiting for things to be easy and start making things happen. So ask yourself, are you choosing comfort or are you choosing progress? Every day, you make this choice. Every time you hit the snooze button instead of getting up, you choose comfort. Every time you avoid a challenge because it feels hard, you choose comfort. Every time you put off your goals for later, you choose comfort. But what if you started choosing progress instead? What if you decided that discomfort was a sign of growth, not a reason to stop? What if you trained yourself to push through instead of giving up? That's when everything changes. And here's the best part. The more you push through discomfort, the easier it gets. What was once hard becomes normal. What once scared you becomes routine. You grow, you improve, you become someone who takes action, no matter how they feel. That's the person you need to become if you want to succeed. So stop seeking comfort. Stop waiting for things to be easy. Choose progress. Push yourself. Challenge yourself. Because that's where real growth happens. That's how you change your life. Number 5. Push through even when you don't feel like it. You wake up tired. You feel overwhelmed. And the last thing you want to do is tackle your goals. We've all been there. It's easy to feel like giving up when motivation is low. And trust me, it happens to everyone. But here's the truth. If you want to succeed, you can't rely on how you feel. You have to push through, even when you don't feel like it. It's not always going to be easy. Some days you'll feel like the weight of the world is on your shoulders, and the tasks ahead seem impossible. You'll question whether it's worth it. You'll want to hit pause, take a break, or just give up. But that's exactly the moment you need to push through, because success doesn't come from doing what feels good in the moment. It comes from doing what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it. Look at any successful person, and you'll see that their success didn't come from doing things when they felt like it. They did it because they had a goal in mind, and they knew that quitting wasn't an option. They understood that if they waited for motivation to show up, they'd never get anywhere. So they built the habit of pushing through, even when it felt tough. You see, motivation is fleeting. Some days you'll be fired up and ready to go. You'll feel energized, inspired, and full of ideas. But other days, that energy will be nowhere to be found. You'll be tired, frustrated, and lacking the desire to move forward. And that's when discipline kicks in. Discipline is what gets you out of bed when you don't feel like it. Discipline is what drives you to keep working when your mind says rest. Discipline is what keeps you focused on your goals when everything else seems easier. And the best part, the more you push through, the stronger your discipline becomes. It's like a muscle. The more you use it, the more powerful it gets. Now, don't get me wrong. There are times when rest is needed. It's important to listen to your body and take breaks when necessary. But there's a difference between taking a rest and making excuses. The key is to recognize when you're truly exhausted and need to recharge, versus when you're just avoiding discomfort. When you find yourself avoiding work because it's hard, or because you don't feel like it, that's when you have to dig deep and push through. Think about this. You'll never achieve anything worth having by always choosing the easy route. The easy route doesn't build character. It doesn't teach you resilience. It doesn't prepare you for the challenges ahead. But pushing through those difficult moments, that's what shapes you. That's what builds the strength you need to reach your goals. Every time you push through, you prove to yourself that you're capable of more than you thought. You build momentum. You show yourself that the discomfort isn't permanent, and the results are worth it. It's those small actions you take when you don't feel like it that add up to big changes in your life. Look, I know it's tough sometimes. I know there are days when it seems easier to quit, to take a break, to just forget about your goals. But those are the moments that matter the most. Those are the moments that define your future. The way you push through those moments, the way you keep moving forward, even when it's hard, is what will separate you from those who give up. You've probably heard the phrase, the difference between successful people and unsuccessful people is the ability to push through when it gets tough. It's true. Successful people don't have it easy. They just don't quit when things get hard. They recognize that setbacks, failures, and bad days are part of the journey. They don't let those moments stop them. Instead, they push through and keep going. And here's the thing. The more you push through, the easier it gets. You start to realize that your feelings don't control your actions. You start to recognize that you're capable of more than you ever imagined. You start to see that the discomfort is temporary, but the rewards are lasting. So when you don't feel like it, that's when you need to keep going. Push yourself. Do the work. Stay focused on your goal. Don't let temporary feelings stop you from achieving what you've set out to do. When you look back, you'll be glad you didn't give up. You'll be proud of the effort you put in, even when it wasn't easy. Success doesn't come from waiting for motivation to hit. It comes from doing the work, even when you're tired, frustrated, or just don't feel like it. The people who make it are the ones who keep going when everyone else has stopped. They push through the hard times, and they use those challenges to fuel their growth. So remember, when you don't feel like it, push through. Don't let your feelings control your actions. Keep moving forward. The results will come, and you'll be stronger for it. Every time you do this, you're getting closer to your goals, and you're proving to yourself that you can accomplish anything you set your mind to. Number 6, surround yourself with action takers. If you want to get serious about achieving your goals, you need to pay close attention to the people you surround yourself with. It's simple. You become like the people you spend the most time with. If you're around people who take action, who work hard, and who push themselves to succeed, you'll naturally start to adopt those same behaviors. But if you spend most of your time with people who are stuck in the same place, not moving forward, and making excuses, you'll start to mirror that too. This is why it's so important to surround yourself with action takers. When you're around people who are driven, who consistently take steps toward their goals, it will motivate you to do the same. You'll see them taking risks, making moves, and getting things done. And it will inspire you to push past your own doubts and fears. You'll start thinking, if they can do it, I can do it too. You see, action is contagious. When you're around people who are constantly moving forward, you can't help but feel like you need to step up your game. But when you're around people who are complacent, who don't have that drive, you'll find yourself slowing down and losing your momentum. It's not that these people are bad. It's just that their energy doesn't push you in the direction you want to go. Think about it. When was the last time you hung out with someone who was super motivated? Someone who was always working on their goals and taking action? How did you feel afterward? Chances are you left that conversation feeling inspired, excited, and ready to take on the world. That's because being around action takers naturally sparks something in you. You start to see that there's more to life than just sitting back and waiting for things to happen. You realize that action is the key to making progress. On the other hand, when you spend time with people who aren't pushing forward, you might feel comfortable, but you won't feel challenged. It's easy to stay in your comfort zone when everyone around you is also stuck in theirs. But nothing changes in the comfort zone. You can't expect to grow if you're always hanging out with people who are satisfied with where they are. The truth is, you need to be around people who challenge you, people who make you think bigger and act bolder. Now, this doesn't mean you have to cut everyone out of your life who isn't exactly like you. That's not the point. The point is to make sure that the people you spend the most time with are those who push you to be better. Look at the people in your circle. Are they people who encourage you to take action? Do they celebrate progress, even the small wins? Are they always striving to improve themselves? If the answer is yes, then you're in a great spot. But if the answer is no, it might be time to reassess who you're spending time with. You want to be around people who inspire you, who hold you accountable, and who keep you focused on your goals. You want people who will remind you that success requires hard work, persistence, and consistent action. Surround yourself with those who are hungry for success, who understand the power of taking action, and who aren't afraid to put in the effort to make their dreams a reality. Here's the thing, it's not just about the people you hang out with socially either. It's about the people you learn from, the people you follow, and the people you allow to influence your mindset. If you're spending all your time reading books, listening to podcasts, and following people who are sitting on the sidelines, you're not going to get anywhere. You need to be learning from and surrounding yourself with people who are doing what you want to do. Take a good look at the people you follow on social media. Are they action takers? Are they pushing themselves to grow and improve? If not, it might be time to unfollow those accounts and follow people who motivate you to get out there and take action. The content you consume plays a huge role in shaping your mindset. Make sure you're feeding your mind with the right kind of energy. It's also important to recognize that action takers don't just sit around waiting for things to happen. They go out and make things happen. They know that success isn't handed to anyone. It's earned through effort and persistence. And by surrounding yourself with people who understand this, you'll start to adopt the same mindset. You'll realize that the key to success is in the action you take, not just in the ideas you have. Look, nobody's perfect. We all have days when we feel down or discouraged, when we just want to give up. But that's when having a circle of action takers around you becomes even more valuable. They'll lift you up, encourage you to keep going, and remind you that success doesn't come from giving up. They'll be there to push you when you can't push yourself. So make it a priority to surround yourself with people who are taking action. If you don't have those kinds of people in your life right now, find them. Attend events, join groups, take classes, or get involved in communities where action-driven people are gathering. The more you connect with people who are taking real steps toward their goals, the more you'll find that you'll start taking action too. Success is a team effort. You don't have to do it alone, but you do need to make sure you're surrounded by the right people, people who are going to challenge you, push you, and inspire you to keep taking action. Because at the end of the day, it's not enough to just dream. You have to act. And the best way to make sure you're always moving forward is to surround yourself with people who are already making things happen. Number 7, create a habit of taking action every day. One of the most powerful things you can do is create a habit of taking action every single day. The truth is, success isn't built on a few big dramatic moments. It's built on the small, consistent actions you take every day. The little things you do today lead to big results down the road. But here's the catch. Those little actions need to happen every single day. If you only take action once in a while, or when you feel motivated, you'll never see the results you want. It's the daily, consistent effort that makes all the difference. It all starts with making the decision to commit to action every day. When you make that decision, you're telling yourself that you won't let another day go by without moving closer to your goals. You're saying that no matter what, you're going to do something today that brings you closer to where you want to be. It doesn't have to be a huge step. It can be something small, something simple, but the key is to do something every single day. Creating a habit of taking action is about building momentum. When you start taking action every day, even on the small things, you'll build momentum that carries you through the tough days. You won't have to rely on motivation or inspiration to get things done. The habit itself will drive you forward. Just like brushing your teeth or getting dressed in the morning, taking action will become a part of your daily routine. It will feel like second nature. But the key here is consistency. It's easy to take action for a day or two, but the real challenge is doing it every day. It's about making taking action a non-negotiable part of your life. The more consistent you are, the more automatic it becomes. You won't have to think twice about whether or not to take action. It'll just be something you do like anything else you do every day. And when you make it a habit, you'll be amazed at the progress you can make. Think about it this way: if you want to get in shape, you don't go to the gym once and expect to see results. You have to go regularly, over time, and put in the work. The same goes for success. You can't expect to see big changes in your life if you're not consistently putting in the effort. It's the daily action that compounds over time and leads to real results. So how do you create a habit of taking action every day? First, you need to set clear goals. If you don't know what you're working toward, it's hard to stay motivated. You need to have a clear vision of what you want to achieve and why it matters. Once you've got that, break your goals down into smaller, manageable tasks. Then make sure you're taking at least one action every day that moves you closer to those goals. Start small if you need to. You don't have to go all in right away. Begin by committing to one small action a day and build from there. As you start taking action, you'll start to feel the momentum build. You'll feel the confidence that comes with doing something every day. And the more you do it, the easier it becomes. Eventually, taking action will become a part of who you are. Another key to creating this habit is to hold yourself accountable. It's easy to let yourself off the hook, especially when you're tired or busy. But if you want to see real results, you need to be accountable to yourself. You need to push yourself to take action, even on the days when you don't feel like it. One of the most powerful things you can do is track your progress. Keep a daily log of what you've accomplished. When you see how much you've done over time, it will motivate you to keep going. One of the reasons many people fail to take consistent action is that they overcomplicate things. They think they need to take massive action every day. But that's just not true. You don't need to climb a mountain every single day. You just need to take one step at a time. Even if it's a small step, it still counts. The important thing is to keep moving forward. Every little action you take is progress. The key is to keep the momentum going. It's also important to make the habit of taking action a positive experience. You want to feel good about the steps you're taking, not just because they're helping you reach your goals, but because they're part of your growth. Celebrate the small wins along the way. When you finish a task, no matter how small, take a moment to appreciate the effort you put in. This will help reinforce the habit and make it something you look forward to, not something you dread. You'll face challenges along the way. There will be days when it's hard to take action, when you're tired, or when life gets in the way. But here's the thing. Those are the days that matter the most. It's easy to take action when you're feeling great, but it's on the tough days that your commitment to the habit will be tested. That's when you really have to show up for yourself. Push through those moments and take action anyway. Even if it's just a small step, it will make a difference. Building this habit won't be easy at first, but nothing worth having ever is. It takes time, effort, and persistence. But if you stick with it, if you show up every day, you'll see the results. The more you take action, the more you'll start to feel in control of your life. You'll see progress, you'll feel a sense of accomplishment, and you'll know that you're moving closer to your goals. And when that happens, it'll all be worth it. Taking action every day doesn't have to be a huge, overwhelming task. It just requires consistency and commitment. Start small, build momentum, And before you know it, you'll be taking action every day, without even thinking about it. That's when the magic happens. That's when you start making real progress. And that's when you start seeing the results you've been working for. So commit to taking action today, and then do it again tomorrow, and the next day. Keep going. Number 8, develop self-discipline. Self-discipline is one of the most important qualities you can develop in your life. If you want to see lasting success, it's not always easy to stick to a plan, especially when you're tired, distracted, or feeling unmotivated. But self-discipline is the key to getting past all of that and moving forward anyway. It's what separates the people who achieve their goals from those who give up along the way. Developing self-discipline isn't about being perfect every day, but it's about committing to doing what needs to be done, even when it's hard or uncomfortable. The first step in developing self-discipline is to understand why it's so important. Without self-discipline, it's easy to fall into the trap of procrastination, distraction, and lack of progress. You might have big dreams and goals, but without the ability to focus on them and take consistent action, they'll remain out of reach. Self-discipline helps you to control your actions, keep your priorities straight, and stay on track even when life tries to pull you in different directions. The good news is, self-discipline is not something you're either born with or not. It's a skill that you can develop over time, with effort and practice. It's like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. But just like building physical strength, it takes time and consistency. It's about developing the habit of doing what you need to do, whether you feel like it or not. To start developing self-discipline, it's important to get clear on your goals. You have to know what you're working toward before you can create a plan to get there. Without clear goals, it's hard to stay focused and disciplined. Once you have your goals in mind, break them down into smaller, actionable steps. This makes it easier to stay on track because you have a clear plan to follow. Now, the next step is to commit to that plan. Self-discipline requires commitment. It's easy to start strong, but the real challenge comes when things get tough or when you don't feel like putting in the work. On those days, you have to remind yourself of your commitment. You have to tell yourself that you're not going to back down just because it's difficult. If you can commit to following through even when it's hard, that's when you build real discipline. Another important part of developing self-discipline is learning to manage your time effectively. One of the biggest challenges to self-discipline is simply getting distracted or wasting time on things that don't help you reach your goals. In today's world, it's easier than ever to get pulled into distractions, social media, TV, news, and a million other things that take up your time and energy. But if you want to develop self-discipline, you have to be willing to manage your time better. Start by identifying the things that are wasting your time and remove them from your routine. Instead, replace them with activities that move you closer to your goals. Self-discipline also requires learning how to say no. You can't say yes to everything and expect to have the time or energy to focus on your most important goals. You have to be selective about where you put your time and effort. Saying no is a form of self-discipline because it means you're prioritizing what really matters and cutting out distractions. When you start saying no to things that don't serve your goals, you're training yourself to focus on what's most important. One of the toughest challenges to self-discipline is learning how to deal with temptation. Whether it's food, distractions, or procrastination, we all face moments where we're tempted to veer off course. The key to overcoming temptation is developing strong mental habits. When you're faced with a temptation, remind yourself of why you're working toward your goals in the first place. Picture the benefits of staying disciplined, how it will feel to achieve what you set out to do. The more you practice saying no to temptations, the stronger your self-discipline will become. You also have to accept that setbacks will happen along the way. No one is perfect, and there will be times when you slip up, get distracted, or lose focus. The important thing is not to let those setbacks define you. Instead of letting one failure discourage you, use it as an opportunity to learn. Ask yourself why it happened and what you can do differently next time. The key is to get back on track quickly and keep moving forward. Self-discipline isn't about being perfect. It's about getting back up when you fall. Building self-discipline also requires setting up your environment for success. If you know that you're easily distracted by your phone, for example, create an environment where you can't access it while you work. Put your phone in another room, or use apps that block distractions. By controlling your environment, you make it easier to stay focused and disciplined. You can also surround yourself with people who support your goals and encourage your discipline. When you're around people who are committed to their own success, it's easier to stay disciplined yourself. It's also important to recognize that self-discipline is a long-term process. You won't see instant results, and it won't always feel easy. But as you build this muscle, it will pay off in the long run. Every small action you take, every time you push through the urge to procrastinate or get distracted, makes you stronger. Over time, the habits you build today will create the life you want tomorrow. One of the most powerful things you can do to develop self-discipline is to celebrate your progress. Every time you stick to your plan, follow through on your commitments, or make progress toward your goals, take a moment to appreciate that effort. It's easy to get discouraged if you're always focused on the end result, but celebrating small wins along the way can help keep you motivated and focused. Finally, remember that self-discipline is a choice. Every day you have the choice to stay focused and committed, or to give in to distractions and procrastination. The more you choose discipline, the easier it becomes. And as you continue to make that choice, you'll see the results in your life. Self-discipline is the foundation of success. It's the secret ingredient that turns dreams into reality. It's about doing what needs to be done, even when it's hard. And when you develop that kind of discipline, there's nothing that can stop you. You'll build the life you want, one disciplined action at a time. Number 9. Start right now. No more waiting. The best time to start is right now. Not tomorrow, not next week, not when you feel ready, right now. Too many people spend their lives waiting for the perfect moment, the perfect plan, the perfect feeling. But the truth is, waiting only delays your progress. If you want to change your life, if you want to reach your goals, you have to start now. Not when it's easy, not when it's convenient. Now, think about how many times you've told yourself, I'll start tomorrow. Tomorrow turns into next week turns into next month. And before you know it, a whole year has passed, and nothing has changed. It's a dangerous cycle, and the only way to break it is to take action today. You don't need the perfect plan, and you don't need to know everything. You just need to begin. People often think they need motivation to start, but motivation comes and goes. You can't rely on it. What you need is a decision to start. No matter how you feel, you don't wait to feel ready. You get ready by doing. Action creates momentum. When you take action, even a small step, you start building confidence. You start proving to yourself that you can do it. And that's how real progress begins. The problem with waiting is that time doesn't wait for you. Life keeps moving, whether you take action or not. Every day you wait is a day lost. And here's the truth. There is no perfect time. There will always be obstacles, distractions, and excuses. But successful people don't wait for the perfect time. They make time work for them. They start with what they have, right where they are. Starting now doesn't mean you have to accomplish everything overnight. It just means taking the first step. If you want to get in shape, start with one workout today. If you want to start a business, do one thing today that moves you closer to that goal. If you want to develop a new skill, start learning right now. Don't overcomplicate it, just begin. One of the biggest reasons people hesitate to start is fear. Fear of failure, fear of making mistakes, fear of not being good enough. But fear only has power if you let it stop you. The only way to overcome fear is to take action despite it. The more you do, the more confident you become. And the more confident you become, the less fear controls you. It's also important to stop making excuses. We all have them. I don't have time. I don't have the resources. I don't know where to start. But excuses don't move you forward. Action does. If something is important to you, you will find a way. You will make the time. You will figure it out. The truth is, the longer you wait, the harder it gets. The best way to build momentum is to start, even if it's small. Think about the people who have achieved great success. They didn't wait. They didn't sit around hoping for the perfect moment. They started. They learned along the way. They made mistakes and kept going. That's how success works. It's not about getting it right the first time. It's about getting started and improving as you go. Another important thing to remember is that action leads to clarity. A lot of people don't start because they're not sure what the right path is. But the best way to find out is to begin. When you take action, you learn what works and what doesn't. You adjust, you grow, and you get better. But if you never start, you'll never know. Starting now also means letting go of the past. Maybe you've tried before and failed. Maybe you've made mistakes. That's okay. The past does not define your future. What matters is what you do now. Every day is a new chance to begin again. The most successful people are not the ones who never fail. They are the ones who never quit. It's easy to wait. It's easy to put things off. But easy won't get you where you want to be. Growth comes from action. Success comes from doing. And it all starts with a decision. The decision to begin now. If you're waiting for a sign, this is it. If you've been looking for the right moment, this is it. There is no better time than now. Take the first step. It doesn't have to be big, but it has to happen today. Start now. No more waiting. Number 10. Reward yourself for progress. Progress is not just about reaching the finish line. It's about every step you take along the way. If you want to keep moving forward, you need to recognize and reward your progress. Too many people only celebrate when they achieve the big goal. But what about all the small victories that got them there? Those matter too. If you don't stop to acknowledge your efforts, you'll burn out, you'll lose motivation, and you'll start feeling like your hard work isn't worth it. That's why rewarding yourself is not just a nice thing to do, it's necessary. Every time you make progress, no matter how small, it's proof that you're moving in the right direction. Maybe you started waking up earlier. Maybe you've been consistent with your workouts. Maybe you finally took action on something you've been procrastinating on. These things might seem small, but they are important. Success is built on small, consistent actions. And when you take a step forward, you need to acknowledge it. You need to tell yourself, I did it, I'm making progress. Most people don't take time to appreciate how far they've come. They focus so much on how far they still have to go that they forget about everything they've already done. That mindset is dangerous. It makes you feel like you're never doing enough, even when you are. It makes you lose motivation because all you see is what's left to do, not what you've already accomplished. If you don't take time to reward yourself, you'll feel like no matter how hard you work, it's never good enough. And that's the fastest way to lose your drive. Rewarding yourself doesn't mean you stop working. It doesn't mean you settle. It means you recognize your effort and give yourself the energy to keep going. Think of it like this. If you're climbing a mountain, you don't wait until you reach the top to take a break. You stop at certain points. You look at the view, you catch your breath, and then you keep going. That's how progress works. If you never pause to appreciate how far you've climbed, the journey will feel impossible. So how do you reward yourself? It doesn't have to be anything big or expensive. It just needs to be something that makes you feel good about your progress. Maybe after a week of staying disciplined, you treat yourself to your favorite meal. Maybe after finishing a difficult task, you take a short break to do something you enjoy. Maybe after reaching a big milestone, you take a day off to relax and recharge. The reward itself isn't what matters. It's the act of recognizing your hard work. One of the best ways to reward yourself is by tracking your progress. When you can see how much you've improved, that itself becomes a reward. Keep a journal. Write down what you've accomplished each day. When you feel like you're not making progress, go back and look at everything you've done. You'll be surprised at how far you've come. Progress is easy to forget when you don't track it. But when you do, it keeps you motivated. It reminds you that your effort is paying off. It's also important to reward yourself in a way that supports your growth. Some people reward themselves in ways that set them back. For example, if you've been working hard to build good habits, don't reward yourself with something that destroys those habits. If you've been disciplined with your diet, don't reward yourself by overeating for a whole week. If you've been saving money, don't reward yourself by spending recklessly. The best rewards push you forward, not backward. And here's something you need to remember. Rewarding yourself is not a sign of weakness. Some people think, I don't need a reward, I should just keep going. That's the wrong mindset. Even the most disciplined people take time to appreciate their progress. The best athletes celebrate after a win. The most successful entrepreneurs reward themselves after a big achievement. Why? Because they know that recognition fuels motivation. They understand that progress should be appreciated, not just expected. If you don't reward yourself, if you don't take a moment to appreciate your efforts, you risk losing your drive. You start feeling like no matter how hard you work, it's never enough. And when that happens, you stop enjoying the process. You start feeling like success is just a long, painful road with no joy along the way. But that's not true. Success is not just about reaching the goal. It's about the journey. And if you don't enjoy the journey, you won't last long enough to reach the goal. The key is to make rewards a part of your routine. Set milestones. Decide in advance how you'll celebrate when you reach them. Maybe after a week of discipline, you take a day to relax. Maybe after completing a big project, You buy yourself something small that you've been wanting. Maybe after achieving a long-term goal, you take a short trip to reset your mind. Whatever it is, make sure it's something that keeps you motivated, something that makes you want to keep pushing forward. And don't wait until you've reached the final goal to feel proud. Feel proud now, feel proud of every step you take, because every step matters, every effort counts. When you reward yourself for progress, you train your mind to enjoy the process. And when you enjoy the process, you stay consistent. And when you stay consistent, you achieve success. So start today, look at what you've already accomplished and give yourself credit. Recognize your efforts, appreciate your progress, and most importantly, keep going. Because every small step you take brings you closer to the life you want, and that's worth celebrating. Action is the foundational key to all success. That quote sums it up perfectly. If you want to achieve something in life, if you want to make progress, you need to take action. It doesn't matter how small the steps are, as long as you're moving forward. The key is to stop waiting for the perfect moment and to start doing something, no matter how you feel. Every small action you take today brings you closer to your goals. Remember, success doesn't happen by accident. It happens when you choose to take control and put in the work. If you start today, you'll be amazed at how much you can achieve over time. So no more waiting, no more hesitation. It's time to take action. Get up, get moving, and make today the day you start building the future you've always dreamed of. Thank you for watching, and I hope you're ready to take that first step right now. Take care and make it happen.